Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be a Worlds Collide deck from my number one box. The first deck I opened from my number one box was Star Alliance, Logos, and Brobnar, and a pretty interesting Brobnar at that. We'll see what we get here. Star Alliance, Brobnar, Shadows. So two of the same houses as the last one, but Shadows instead of Logos. That could be pretty interesting. This is Warncon, the Viceroy of Amateurs. Viceroy always makes me think of Star Wars, even though of course that's not where the term Viceroy comes from, but there are some prominent Viceroys in that story. From Star Alliance, I'm really hoping to get things that will speed my deck along, that will have cool combos, maybe some house cheating if I'm lucky, maybe some deck acceleration if I'm lucky, and in Brobnar, I'm hoping for board control, maybe some Amber destruction as well. And in Shadows, I am hoping for some steel and plinky damage-based board control, hopefully. Although I think there's less of that here, and maybe some disruption plays. Alright, let's start with Brobnar. We have Alaka, who's a 4-power giant that says if you have used a creature to fight this turn, Alaka enters play ready. Cool. That's pretty cool. Two of those. Volcano is an action that does 4 damage to each creature and gains you 2 chains. That is pretty crazy. Probably pretty useful if you're dealing with Saurians. I think because they have their own board wipe that favors them. But this is a nice way to just get damage on everything. Maybe burn some wards as well. Ooh, Ire Staff is an artifact with a bonus amber. You exhaust it to enrage a creature and give that creature a +1 power counter. Really nice if you were going to fight anyway. Just make the creature bigger first. Narp is an 8-power giant with 1 armor. Its neighbors can't reap. Maybe you can make them bigger with Ire Staff. Shorty is a 4-power giant with Assault 4. And after he reaps, you enrage him. So this is a really good candidate for putting next to the Narp and Ire Staffing. Maybe you Ire Staff the Narp too. Shorty might not need the Ire Staff. Assault 4 is pretty good. Warrior's Refrain is an action with a bonus amber, and you stun each creature with power 3 or lower. That is fantastic board control. 2 of those, and the bigger creatures were probably blowing up. I like the Brobnar in this set is a little more like dark, and I wonder if those are. Nope, those are not the same artist, but yeah, it's a little more dark and like almost industrial revolutionary England. You see all the smog in the background. Fire Breath is an upgrade with a bonus amber that gives a creature +3 power, and before fight deal 2 damage to each neighbor of the creature this creature fights. That is super cool. Slimy Jark is a 1-power goblin with skirmish and elusive, and fight and rage the creature it fights. That's an interesting one. Wow, I'd love to have the Fire Breath on this and be Ire Staffing it too, just because of that skirmish and elusive. I mean, you could do real good work with this. This is a good candidate to put next to the Narp. Oh, Signal Fire is an artifact with a bonus amber. Has Omni, you sacrifice it, and for the remainder of the turn, friendly Brobnar creatures may fight as though they belong to the active house. Really good way to get extra value out of them. We have a lot of bonus ambers so far. 2, 4, 8, 10 cards. Two Brobnar cards to go, and 4 amber pips already. We have a War Grumpus. This is a 3-power beast with Fight Reap. Ready and fight with a neighboring giant. Oh, is that 12? We hit 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I was wrong. Is it likely that we'll have fought on a turn that we drop a lockup? I think probably, actually. There's a good chance we'll have stuff out that gets some fighting going. Alright, in Shadows we have Avinda, who's a 4-power elf thief with Reap, deal 1 damage to a creature. Maybe this is cleaning up after stuff you murdered or softened up with Fire Breath. If this damage destroys that creature, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Ooh, Hawk gives you a bonus amber, and you destroy an artifact, and if you do, you gain an amber. That's solid. Inky Gloom. It's an action that says your opponent cannot use creatures to reap on their next turn. Javinda is a 2-power elf thief with elusive and reap. Deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, steal 1. We got 2 of those. I like it. Kymor Eclipse shuffles each flank creature into its owner's deck. It's a different way to do board control. Trust No One has you steal 1, but if there are no friendly creatures in play, instead steal 1 for each house represented among enemy creatures to a maximum of 3. I think this is probably usually just a steal 1, because we probably have enough board control that we are going to have creatures on the board, but if you can pull it off, that's pretty cool. Chain Gang is a 3-power elf thief. After you play Subtle Chain, you ready Chain Gang. It has action steal 1, shuffle a Subtle Chain from your discard pile into your deck. So nice little obvious combo there if we get a Subtle Chain. Special Delivery is a fantastic card. It is an artifact with a bonus amber, and Omni, you sacrifice it, and you deal 3 damage to a flank creature, and if this damage destroys that creature, you purge it. Really nice. Ooh, we did get a Subtle Chain. Gain an amber, and your opponent discards a random card from their hand. But again, if we have the Chain Gang out, then it does extra work. Subtle Maul. It's an artifact and weapon that exhausts to make your opponent discard a random card from their hand. Yeah, that can be okay. Cool stuff. Of course, all of these, except for the Avinda, they get stunned by the Warrior's Refrain. So does the Slimy Jark, potentially. So that's something to be aware of. A little bit of anti-synergy there. Whisper is a 3-power elf thief with elusive, and he has action, lose 1. If you do, destroy a creature. Interesting. Alright. That is some interesting stuff right there. On to the Star Alliance. Armsmaster Melina is a 4-power human with Hazardous 3, and her neighbors also get Hazardous 3. 2 of those. Wow. That's pretty cool. Chief Engineer Walls is a 2-power human with elusive, and play Fight Reap. You may return an upgrade or robot card from your discard pile to your hand. Potentially get the Fire Staff back, the Fire Breath. 2 of those. And maybe we'll get some of our own upgrades or robots in Star Alliance, but we'll have to see. Commander Chan is a 4-power human with Fight Reap, use another friendly creature. There's a lot of potential there for combos with the Shadows or Brobnar stuff. First Officer Frayne is a 4-power human with Play Fight Reap, a friendly creature captures an amber. Lieutenant Karkar is a 5-power alien hand-to-hand with Taunt and Hazardous 3. Zap is an action with a bonus amber. You deal 1 damage to a creature for each house represented among creatures in play. Calvin is a 2-power robot with an armor, and he has Fight Reap, draw a card, but if you can play him as an upgrade instead of a creature, and he gives the thing he's attached to Fight Reap, draw a card. Very nice. Nurse Soto is a 3-power human with Deploy, and play Fight Reap, heal 3 damage from each of Nurse Soto's neighbors. Quintrino Flux is an action that says play, choose a friendly creature and an enemy creature, destroy the chosen creature and each creature with the same power as either of the chosen creatures. We have a pretty wide creature spread, I feel like, here, so we're probably going to be able to do a pretty good job of not nuking ourselves. 4 is maybe our most common number here. And lastly, we have a Book of IEQ. It's an artifact that exhausts to reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a non-Star Alliance card, its house becomes your active house, otherwise end your turn. The one time I've got to use one of these, I it did not work out. But you gotta try again. So what is this deck trying to do? It wants to control the board, that's for sure. It feels like it wants to do that in Star Alliance as well. We have some slow, like one turn at a time capture in Star Alliance. Some steel and shadows, but not a ton. And really no amber destruction in this Brobnar setup. So what we really are about is board control and just preventing the opponent from getting a lot of reaps. But if someone has like an action-based deck, I'd maybe be a little more worried, right? Where they don't care about keeping cards on the table, they just want to play. I'd be a little concerned about that. It also doesn't have really any draw or, well, just the Calvin, but it really doesn't have much draw or archive stuff in here. The walls are kind of a fizzle because there's only the Calvin, so I feel like there are just some weaknesses there that are going to drag this thing down. But man, it has, like, Hawk is so good. I think it's going to generate pretty good amber and again have pretty good board. You can purge something with a special delivery. So there's good possibilities here. I'm just not sure that it's that it can control the game enough to consistently win. But that's my, I'm always looking for, like, I feel like I'm always looking for the worst case scenario lately. And anyway, I've been playing with the decks I was opening earlier. Still haven't gotten around to one of them, but had some fun with some crazy steel stuff, as well as some interesting, well, I guess both Shadows decks that I opened earlier what I've been playing with. So lots of steel-oriented stuff, and have not gotten around yet to the board control deck that I opened earlier. Need to practice with that one as well as this one and see how it actually works in practice. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and that you will get out and forge some keys.